call that radio. You call that radio TV. No. You call that radio TV.
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio TV. We are about to go live to Bang Crosby with the Bad Fractals, who, after 7 years, are about to release their debut album, produced by Martin Youth Glover, who we were honoured to have as a guest on previously. He is produced for the classics like Urban Hymns by the Verve, the last ever Pink Floyd album. He's in a band with Paul McCartney. Martin Youth Glover, absolute legend and a lovely guy as well. So it's amazing that these guys are actually making their debut album with them. Can't wait to hear about it. As recommended by a few people that's been on the show before, as Bad Fractals. So I'm going to just bring them on. Bring Bang on. Bang Crosby, how you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Good to see you, man.
It's really nice to meet you, man. I'm quite excited by this album, and I've not even heard much of it. I've heard the song that's on Spotify, and I've found a couple of live things that you've done on YouTube, and I've seen your bio and stuff, and it's right up my street. Doghouse highly recommended you. Ask Doghouse, I went, who would you recommend? Because try to get a wee bit more outside of Glasgow. We're a wee bit Glasgow centric at times, such as that's where I'm from. But it's really good to hear some new music, and Martin Youth Glover is doing the album, man. So you must be absolutely buzzing about that.
Oh, big time, man, big time. It's taken a long time, but it's all slowly coming together. But yeah, it's all, man. It's been like a long, painful birthing process. But yeah, we're getting there.
It's getting there. Well, there is actually a rocket fuel crowdfunder that I'm going to put in the comments.
There is.
And we'll just get straight into the album pitch, and then we'll talk about other things. I'll put the link in the comments for people, and what I'll do is I'll just share the screen just so people can just see what this. First of all, rocket fuel, I've just started seeing appearing on my radar. And obviously, so tell us about the crowdfunder. You've got digital downloads, you've got artworks, you've got loads of cool T-shirts here, album listening sessions, sponsor a song, a date with Brandy and Codeine. Tell us about the perks.
Well, a date with Brandy and Codeine would be probably quite up there. Like if you want to get pinned down and let them spit in your mouth or something, you know.
200 quid, that, as if that sounds like it's up your street, it's £200.
Yeah. So there's that, and then you can sponsor a song. You can like make that song your own, because you'll effectively pay for the cost of doing it, and we'll credit you on the album. We'll give you a little plaque you can put on your wall. You can come and do magic with us under the full moon. We'll do a full-blown crazy ritual with our coven of witches in tracksuits. And that'll involve all sorts of things that I probably can't say. And you can come on holiday with us. You can come to our bassist, Fred Stitz, has an amazing studio that he built himself out in Germany, and Fred Stitz is a legend in his own right, who would be great on this show. And that'll be great. And you can buy any number of memorabilia. You can do whatever you want, really, as long as you pay.
You've done really well on it, man. I mean, that's the thing about it's perks. Coming up with perks is quite a difficult part of the whole thing, because it's like, yes, we would like you want money to support your art. We're coming up with interesting ways. You've got a drumming master class. You've got personalised video messages, performance and poetry masterclass. The jacket.
My God.
Bang Crosby's Shamanic jacket. That looks amazing.
That jacket, I know I've been through so much stuff. I've sweated on festivals all over Europe in that, and effectively channeled spirits of some kind, I guess. Like it's made by my friend Badger, who's from a house called Feral Pleasures, and they do amazing stuff. I really, really recommend checking them out. And it was painted for me at Glastonbury. because we were playing there, and I was hosting a venue with my friend Doc Cotton, who's a really good clown, and we kind of we're the naughty corner of Glastonbury. Doghouse has been is always very present there. It's the Unfair Ground, it's called.
Yes, I love the name. I've seen Doghouse. I've seen Doghouse talking about it before.
Yeah, and you can come and enjoy all the fun of the Unfair. It's really, really good if you like that kind of thing. And if you don't, it's generally where people from Glastonbury turn up and have their minds completely twisted. So I thought the Bad Fractals were always a great live brand to have there, because we kind of soundtrack that kind of technicolor hell that it is.
And how would you describe your music for people who haven't heard you?
Well, it's mutated over time, and when it started off, I'd call it like, it was kind of like acid gypsy trash sort of thing, and it was like that was in 2012, and it was just the guitarist and I, Astroloz, and we started in a squat in North London in 2012, and it was like a time when everyone was declaring the end of the world, so we thought we'd be the perfect. We kind of soundtrack that with some kind of chaotic joy. So it was basically sort of like stand-up cabaret, where I was like completely losing my shit, while he attempted to accompany me, and it worked really well. We kind of but we got heavier and heavier and heavier, and we realized that we needed a drummer. We needed rhythm. So there's a drummer called Hedge, who's now our drummer, now he's called Fred Astray, or Fred Astray, and he plays in a band called Tribazic. And I just remember watching him play and just seeing this torrential cascade of drums, and I was like, fuck, I need that drummer. So that kind of beefed up the sound, and it got heavier. And like, basically what I'd say we do is we write ultra-violent love songs. So that's the name of our album in the end. So how much thought goes into the album name? How many other options was there? What in terms of who we work with?
Yeah, no, just for naming the album, because it's obviously something that I put a lot of time into, and I really like. And then eventually something does click, and I just think, right, don't think about it anymore. Right, you need the album, because I think that once you get the name of the album, and just everything else starts sort of clicking into place.
Yeah, you've nailed it there, actually, because we kept trying to think of a different name, and like the first name that my friend came up with was Rectangles, spelt rectangle. So now when we put a remix album out, we're going to call it that, I think. And but then my friend Robin he was saying, yeah, no, it's not catchy enough, man. It's not catchy enough. And he was like, describe your sound, describe it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of this, it's kind of that. And he was like, describe it. And I said, well, we write ultra-violent love songs. And he was like, bang, there's your name.
And on that note as well, I think we're going to play everyone a cover version of a man who's been known to write the occasional ultra-violent love song. It's a cover version of Nick Cave. And also I want to give everyone a wee shout. If you're watching this on Facebook, Twitch or Twitter, you need to get the bus to YouTube. So click that link, it's in the comments to watch the rest of today's show. So tell us a little bit about this cover version. We'll play it just to give people a little idea of your sound, because obviously we're going to play one of your actual tunes in a wee bit later on, but the situation is just now is that the album is in the mastering stage, and obviously quite rightly it sounds like you've got similar band members to me, and that would be, you want to get the exclusives out and let people hear it, but it's not quite finished yet, frustratingly. So we're going to listen to the cover version. Tell us a little bit about it, and then I'll give it a spin.
Well, this is a cover that we did with Armand's Astroloz, who we play with, and Barbara. He's in a band with her as well, Barbarella's Bang Bang. And I'm a massive Nick Cave fan, and they just put a shout out saying, "Do you want to do a cover?" Like asking for people to do covers. So we were like, okay, it's the only thing that I've been able to do in lockdown, so it's like the only music that we managed to make before we started rolling with the album again in about a year. And we did it, and we learned the song, recorded it, filmed it, and then it got edited and mastered the same day, and we sent it off, and Nick Cave actually really loved it, and bigged it up, and I think it might still be circulating on his website now. And yeah,
well, that's the biggest honour you could get, man.
I know. Stuff. I know. I couldn't.
In fact, that is one of the best name drops I've ever heard on the show. So we need to
name drop.
You call that radio?
Amazing stuff. Let's check out the tune. Let us know in the comments what you make of this cover version of Cave.
before they try to.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. We are indeed powered by our patrons. Thanks to everyone who's supporting the show. We're actually going to do a wee raffle before the end of today's show. It's a thank you to everybody who is supporting the show at patreon.com/you call that radio. A wee shout out to Sonny Govan. We're doing a Sonny Govan fundraiser tomorrow from 5:30 right through the night. With some amazing acts. We've got absolutely crazy stuff going on from the likes of Colonel Mustard and the Dijon 5, Loki, Respect BA, Jackal Trades, Minerva Wakes, Becky Walks, loads of stuff there. And then on Tuesday we've got IO and Fife. Tuesday night we've got Clinker from London. And then on Wednesday we've got Jason Williamson from Sleaford Mods. So it's a busy week ahead. Absolutely buzzing for it. But today it's all about Bang Crosby and Bad Fractals, who have a fundraiser on the go, a new album ready to go, and we just heard that amazing cover version, man. That was incredible.
Oh, thanks, man.
We've got loads of nice comments coming in. The lovely lady has an interesting voice. Sorry, don't know your name.
That's the lady is Barbarella, and she is in a band called Barbarella's Bang Bang. And Armand's Astroloz, our guitarist, that's his other band. So yeah, they're definitely worth checking out.
Amazing. Beautifully done, says Claire. Lovely, says Mark. Joanna Palmer says, love you all in that cover. Big hug, Fractals. Rusty Nut says, shine bright, you crazy tooth. We've got the legendary Doghouse. Big up Doghouse. He said, beautiful cover of a beautiful song. And if you haven't seen it already, Doghouse was on the show yesterday. It was great to get a catch up with him. Lou says Nick Cave's possibly the best name drop ever. I agree. I think that's right up there. And a full volume name drop. Was that a bit loud, John? Was that a little bit too loud? That might be because my frame is just giving me a wire that means that stereo, everything's got a bit louder. We've got CF Ma in the house. Guan Colin. And we have Paul's here. Hello, Paul. Nice pants, says Petra.
Yeah.
William Humphreys is here, bang on time. And Heather Martin says, I think the number 23 won't be that long, love. And yeah, so plenty of people tuned in tonight. And I love you, Colin, says CF Ma. And the voices go well together. They're absolutely amazing. No wonder Nick Cave loved it. And so, I mean, Nick Cave, from a lyrical point of view, man, I've always been a massive fan of the way that he writes as well.
Big time.
He paints pictures, he tells a story. And yeah, man, just so that is an amazing sort of... Have you got a quote from him you can use to stick on the album?
Glorious, he said.
Glorious. That's one for the press release.
Yeah, just glorious. But like, I've always found a good axiom is like try and live a life that's as heroic as possible. Like, just ask yourself. It's like my mate's dad always said, Ken Campbell. He always said, if ever you're doing anything in life, just ask yourself, is it heroic? You know, that can be anything, like absolutely anything. So yeah.
I just made a cup of tea there.
Yeah, but it was heroic.
It was heroic. It was a chai. It's a chai. And I just the only time I ever have a chai tea is usually when I'm at a festival. My friend Rory and Claire, they have the chai caddy, and I love it. It's usually when I'm really rough and I just bump into them and they give me a cup of chai tea without me asking. They know I need it, and I just like it. I like a chai tea, and it's like, why can't I just have one? You know what I mean? The first time I bought chai tea. But there's no festival season, so people say you can't have chai tea in the house, but you can, and you do it heroically.
Yes.
So that's what we've done. Festival season, man. You must have missed it last year.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it just becomes such an intrinsic part of your life. It's like you think, like, you get to a certain point and you're like, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? What am I doing? And the first thing I realized was that everything I'd used, especially when everything ended, everything I'd used to define who I was at that point suddenly stopped. And so I went, because I didn't have a stage to prance around on. I wasn't getting my validation. I didn't have a witness, essentially, as a lot of people have. So I went into myself and wrote a massive musical about pigs, and which Doghouse, again, got a name drop him, is going to be involved in. So that's going to feature music from Bad Fractals, and that has also taken about somewhere between 5 and 7 years to come into fruition. But in the absence of festival season, I just locked myself away and wrote about pigs.
Can you give any more away apart from this about pigs?
I can sing you the opening song if you want.
I would love to. Like, can I as long as I can use the exclusive banner that we spent a lot of money on. There we go. We spent a lot of money on that exclusive banner, so it's good to give it a year.
Yeah. So basically, picture the scene. You've got like an empty abattoir, and you've got Slaughterman John, and he's like stood there looking really sad. And he just looks up and goes, "Oh, the pigs don't squeal like they used to do. The pigs don't squeal like they used to do. Time passes by, pigs continue to die, but the pigs don't squeal like they used to do. Bam, bam, bam. I remember my daddy were a pig just like them. He used to lock bad men up and then beat me to bed. I remember my mum, she was as slow as a sow. She would sit reading Bibles and praying aloud. I remember my friends, they were all in my head. They used to play all the day games that needed no end. But I never had much life. All I had was myself till I found the pigs here, and I found the pink. Well, the pigs don't squeal like they used to do. The pigs don't squeal like they used to do. Time passes by, pigs continue to die, but the pigs don't squeal like they used to do. And then it carries on like that for quite a long time. But like, it's
that deserves a round of applause. Amazing stuff. The first question I want to ask is, are the pigs squealing more or less? But I don't want that. Maybe would spoil everything. So I don't want a spoiler alert. I don't want to know any more actually, because I want to go into this musical with no illusions of how it's going.
Yes, that's exactly why you should do it.
You don't want to ruin the magic. Do not ruin the magic. That was fantastic, man. I appreciate that. And normally, sometimes we get people that are shy, or they're not ready yet, or they're not practiced, and you just absolutely smashed it. We've got people saying, you've got Yas, I would go and see the musical, says Mark McInnes. We've got Petra's loving it. Pigs is amazing, says Doghouse. And we've got a question from Heather. Heather says, the cover of the record looks great. Who is the artist?
Yes, that's really good that you said that. So he's called Hector de Gregorio, and he's one of our favourite artists. And we approached him and said, would you be interested in doing the artwork? And he said yes. And his work's incredible. Like, he does these like amazing tarot-like images of people, and just, God, I don't know how to describe his work. Yeah, Hector de Gregorio.
Heroic.
It's heroic, and it's amazing, and it's really transformative. Like, so he's done portraits of all of us, but we're waiting on a portrait of our bassist Fred, and he's also going to be doing the actual cover of it. But he's currently working on a film in Morocco, so he'll be back at some point. But could I write his name down in the?
Yes.
So
you send it to me in the private chat.
Send it to you, so people,
Yeah.
because he's totally worth checking out.
CF
But yeah,
Matt
that's kind of
wants
a
a
dream.
pig. Rusty Nut hopes to see it down the squeakies. And Paul says, picturing pigs is a movie directed by Tim Burton. I'm not aware of that one. Are you aware of that one?
Ah.
And yeah, so they've got if you just sent me that. Oh, you haven't. Oh, did you send me it on Facebook?
Oh shit! I didn't press send. Sorry.
All right.
There you
Yeah,
go.
okay. Cool. So I'll bring that up on the screen. Yes. So yeah. Cool. Yeah. We need to spell it out. We need to spell it out for the people. So yeah, that'll put the banner up here. There we go, Hector. And I'll put it in the comments as well for people to check out. And has he got a website or?
He's got a gallery that represents him. So like he was on Instagram and Facebook, but I think he's disappeared for a while. So, but
Do you
yeah.
know, do you know what? Just feel like doing that as well. Just actually disappearing off social media.
Oh God, I do feel about like that. It's so funny. It's like an extension of our psyche now, isn't it? It's like if it shuts off, you think, will part of your brain shut off? I don't know. It's interesting. I'm finding it really interesting the way we're kind of evolving alongside machines, though. I think it's like we're at a turning point where this could all go really well, or it could all go really bad. And I don't know if there's anywhere I'd rather be.
Well, it's interesting that we did think that it was lack of knowledge that was causing problems, but now knowledge is out there, and
Yeah.
And there's never been more problems than ever. We'll put it that way. But I suppose everything's just heightened, isn't it? It's just
Absolutely.
the constant arguments that are going on Facebook and stuff, and people that have just been arguing every day since lockdown began. I've got a sort of sneaky admiration for those people who can continue to argue all day, every day.
I know what you mean. There's also been some people I've thought like after my interactions with them on social media, but I couldn't even be in a room with them. But it turns out that as soon as I was in a room with them, everything was fine, and it was only online that I just I couldn't stand their presence.
Well, that's it. We talked about that a little bit with Doghouse yesterday as well. It's people that you would normally have a conversation with, and you would just agree to disagree, or agree on certain points and disagree on other points. But social media is not really designed for that. People are typing on their phones with their thumbs, so they're just trying to be as succinct as possible. And basically, what they want you to do is say, "You're right, I was wrong," and that's the only way you're going to end the thread. In fact, that doesn't even work anymore because people just think you're taking the piss. Like, you can't even do it. It used to be an emoji, a laughing emoji, or a wink emoji, or a smile emoji would kind of take the sting out of it, and now people just think it's you laughing at them. So you can't win. You can't win.
It's funny though.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, it's funny with emojis though, because like they've made it a lot more easy to communicate. It's like sometimes I think maybe they're like the very basic building blocks of a new form of communication, like because it's all symbols and stuff. I don't know. Interesting.
There's some science behind that as well, that people actually now react emotionally to the little symbols that they wouldn't have done 5 years ago. And I've actually seen it personally myself. So like sometimes if we've got like a big announcement to make, I'll say wow reacts only. And when I'm looking for the wow react to add to my post, actually I can see my face doing that. I can feel myself doing the wow react.
No way.
As I'm looking for it. I mean, there's been a lot of wow reacts I've been doing. We've done 250 shows since lockdown began, and there's been quite a few. Rusty Nut would rather be a pig. Joanna Palmer has got the pig emojis, which is good to see. I'd rather be in the sty than have a sty in my eye, says Heather Martin. Could that be used in the musical?
I think so.
David Cameron, another pig connoisseur.
Yeah, famous pig connoisseur.
Joe McCann is still not using emojis. I admire that, man. The reason I just started using it is because one of my friends explained to me that it just lets people know that you're laughing, that you're being tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But I think we need some kind of sarcasm font or something, because people do take things very, very literally. you know, even satire is just like getting mixed up with what's actually happening as well. And I suppose that one of the things about social media for me is that I've always told myself, and I don't know if it's a lie or not anymore, and I think it might be, is that part of the reason that I've got social media was because I had my band, Gyro Babies was my band that I was promoting on social media. So I was like, if I didn't have the band, I wouldn't need to do it. And then I became a promoter, and I was like, well, I need that right now because I can't afford flyers. So it was, at one point, it was really easy to promote stuff. But now, with the really strict with sponsored ads, it's quite hard to just put out a Facebook event or a flyer and get that same kind of, what you would normally get. So now I've got this show, so it's like, I need to promote. We have moved the show onto YouTube because I found them to be slightly lesser of two evils than what Facebook's doing just now. For us anyway, it's worked better. But I still need Facebook to promote the YouTube show. So yeah. I wonder if is it all about me trying to self-promote, or is it because I'm addicted and I'm in denial?
That's really interesting. Like, I don't think you are addicted. I don't know. I think that these things have become necessary extensions of our tools to communicate, and it's like the more interconnected we become, the more we can learn from each other. And like we live in like a reflective universe. Like we reflect everything around us. I mean, people's dogs look like them, for fuck's sake. And it's like, I find that the more connection we have, the more we can reflect each other. So even though we find all these places to bicker and these new kind of rainbows of narcissism almost, we can still find the way to get to know each other better. It's like being trapped in we're like sort of trapped in a hall of mirrors, but maybe that's the way out. I don't know. I think everyone's trying to figure it out.
I had a prediction years ago. I predicted that because I was starting to notice that we were picking up American slang, but also I was noticing that American people were picking up UK slang. I was noticing that we were picking up a odd Spanish word here and there, and I thought that what was going to happen was we're all going to mesh into one universal language. And then Google Translate came along and ruined it. My prediction, because I don't think that's actually going to happen anymore, because I think Google Translate is getting better and better at what it does, and it's also handy if you're traveling a bit. You like you said, you already mentioned that you go to the studio in Germany and you've played other places. Where is your music taking you outside of the UK?
Spaceland. We've mainly played around the UK, but like we there's a circus that I'm part of called No Structure. So like I always wanted just before lockdown.
You're part of the circus as well. Wait, this is our last guest. Amy was on a minute ago. She left the Glasgow poetry scene to join the circus.
Brilliant.
We had her about an hour ago. So there you go, 2 in a row.
Brilliant. Yeah, it says I'm a clown with the circus, basically. So that's been pretty interesting. In fact, that's how Bad Fractals all came about. Really, was I was clowning and I kind of wanted to start singing at the same time. So it came from like a love of circus and cabaret, and like, but that's taken me all over the place. Really, it's been from everywhere from like huge stages to tiny little things. It's funny. I did the last act that I was touring with it's a soldier act where I get shot constantly, and every time I get shot, a piece of clothing comes off, and I found it like to be naked in front of sometimes 50 people, sometimes 1,000 people, sometimes like it's a really sobering and interesting experience. And I've always found, like, with Bad Fractals, it's always been about trying to translate that naked experience of the universe and existence. And, like, not necessarily, I don't get naked on stage with Bad Fractals, I haven't yet. But yeah, it's about
maybe the comeback gig. I'm sure there'll be a lot of energy in the room.
Yeah.
Have you got? I mean, obviously there was I've been noticing lots and lots of my friends that are artists. After the announcement last week that the bookings are starting to come back in, are you making any plans? It's been quite an easy decision to me. We've not really had that many firm offers, so I'm just sort of waiting to see what happens right now. But have you got anything in the book that you're hoping will go ahead?
Not at the moment, not really. Like, I think we're just kind of waiting to see how things go, because this album's nearly finished, and like if we've got this tangible product that we can tour with, then we can make it all relevant. I mean, like, there's nothing we'd like to do more than playing festivals at the moment, but it's also, will they go ahead? Will it just all stop again? I don't know. I don't kind of want to put all my pigs in one basket.
Heather Martin's got a question. She says, how did you find out about Rocket Fuel? What have they done for you? Yeah, I was actually wanting to ask that myself, Heather. Good shout, because just recently, in the last couple of months, I've noticed Rocket Fuel has been appearing on, like, I noticed I got it as a sponsored ad, and I noticed a couple other people using it. Is there any benefits to using Rocket Fuel rather than, say, like Crowdfunder or any of the other competitors?
Yeah, I'd say there is. I mean, they're very straightforward. They're very clear. They give you a platform, like for you to promote your stuff on, like, and it's all very clear and very nice. And they take 10%. So it's not like Kickstarter where it's all or nothing. I've never actually used Crowdfunder. I mean, this is a whole new thing to me. It's totally new. Like, we've tried so many ways to fund the record, like ways all of which I've done, which have gone completely wrong, and I've tried pretty much everything, and thankfully not ended up in prison or in a bad situation. And then randomly, our drummer Hedge, he was on a mailing list and got an email saying, "Do you want to get some free tutoring about how to generate money from your music?" So I did it, and I was doing a 3-day water fast at the time, and I planned to like just be trying to get really calm and get clear and maybe get some creative projects doing. But instead, I just got completely fixated on business and trying to work out how it all works, because the problem that so many musicians have is we don't understand how to monetize what we're doing and how to actually live off it. So we always end up struggling, when in reality, like, there's a whole world of abundance out there which we should be able to harness. And Rocket Fuel's been really good at showing me how to just show me a good clear path, and they're always there the whole way through. I don't think Crowdfunder, they email you constantly saying, how are you doing today? Like, how's this going? Have you tried this tactic? Have you tried that tactic? And it's a strange new world for me. And it's like, it's the only honest way I've tried to generate any money other than gigging for this record. So I'd recommend them.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I like the idea of there is abundance out there. People need music. People want to hear music, and that's why I've been very lucky with when all the gigs stopped. That was me fucked, and I started this video podcast, and the generosity from the patrons has meant that I could continue to do this and just keep doing it. And I suppose it was that horrible feeling of actually starting a Patreon, because at first it felt like you're begging, and then now I realise it's more akin to busking. If people like it, they can stick £1 in. If they don't like it, then it's still free. There's no paywall there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that will be the same for your music as well. I'm sure it'll be on a platform. So if someone is skint, they will be able to hear the music just the same. But if they want to support it and get some kind of limited edition merch, something in their hands, and then they can do it that way. And I think that, if you've been doing this for a while, you've built up a cult following of fans who want to be part of the journey.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's kind of decentralizing it as well. And like, you're taking out all the middlemen. You're taking out any kind of thing which is stopping you making a connection to people who enjoy the music. And it's really beautiful for that. I'm really honest. So it's like, you can grow along with your fans and like go on this journey and like, just be human beings with each other and just go, this is great. Let's share it. Let's go to Spaceland. It's really good. Like with Rocket Fuel as well, they've got like a Patreon kind of section as well. So I'm kind of experimenting with that and seeing how it goes, because I think it's all about dialogue. I mean, we should all be able to sustain each other through what we can all do for each other. So
one thing I want to pick up on that you're talking about, just to change the subject a wee bit, you're talking about the 3-day water fast. Tell me about that.
Well, I don't know. I just thought I'd try it. It's like it was. it's just a fast where you do nothing but drink water. And I love eating. I love I eat out whenever I've got something to do. I'm just like, I eat, I do this, do that. And I kind of wanted to find out what would happen if I took away one of my driving forces. And it was very interesting. It's like, all I can say is I was hungry the entire time. It didn't really go away. I'd recommend...
I've heard people saying before that you're hungry for the first day and then it gets better or something like that.
By it gets better, it might mean they get used to it. I mean, sometimes you forget, and if you're focused, you can get really into something, and it makes you very clear because there's nothing left to digest in your body. I mean, it's like fasting, something which has become very fashionable at the moment. Like, I've noticed all these people have got apps on their phone and they're doing it, but also there's a danger in it leading into food control, which can in itself lead into eating disorders. So
if you've got a history of eating disorder, then you should probably stay away from that shit.
I agree, and you see a lot of people using food control who have actually just got eating disorders, I reckon.
And the point is to see the difference. What about? I mean, because I can't remember the name of the guy that talked about the fasting, but I found it really interesting. He did that, and he was talking about exactly what you're talking about. He was saying it's not so much a body detox. He was talking about science, but it's not about that. It's the clarity of mind and stuff like that. What about things like meditation and stuff like that? Do you do that?
Yeah, I have done in the past, and then I let myself slide for ages, and now I'm trying to get some kind of self-control and focus, because pretty much every time you do that, everything else sort of falls into place in your life. I've noticed every time I go through long periods without drinking alcohol, I start to think really clearly and things start happening. But a lot of the time I'm just occupying the sort of middle ground in between extremities and getting on with my day-to-day life. But I'm really into David Lynch and into his films, and he's been a big advocate of transcendental meditation, and I've always kind of wanted to try that one out. I mean, I guess it's just you just keep trying these different things. We've got all these therapies and all these different things that maybe we've got all these therapies because we've got all these diseases. I don't know, these mental diseases, but.
And I suppose there's just things that definitely work for some people and don't work for other people.
Absolutely.
So it's about finding out what works for you. So yeah man. And David Lynch as well, I'd recommend he does a really good audio book. It's quite a short one, unless I only downloaded half of it. But it's just kind of very short chapters where he's talking about how he gains success. And there was just a couple of lines that just really, I don't know, it really resonated with me, and it really motivated me as well. And it was, it was one of them was, there's a few, but one of them, the first one that springs to mind there is that, it was basically people's questions. He's just answering people's questions, and people saying, well, how can you, it's easy for you because you're now rich and successful, so you can make a movie if you want. But he's like, well, I wasn't always rich and successful. And along the way, people will help you, if you're worried about financial. So it kind of ties in with what you're talking about with this rocket fuel funder as well, and what we're talking about with the Patreon as well. If you ask for help, then people will help you. Obviously, you do need to either have talent or work hard as well. But sometimes the people that I see getting successful tend to be the people that work hard rather than talent. Just talent alone is just not enough.
No, it's not enough, really. It's like the amount of people I've seen who are unbelievably talented, but they get stuck. And I think it's really great that there's things like Rocket Fuel and Crowdfunder and just Patreon and things which are basically giving a hand to people to give them agency, because all people really want in life is agency. They want to feel agent in their environment. And it's whether that comes from tidying your room and you suddenly feel great and you've got control of your environment, or making a film or an album, it's all coming from the same place, I think. It's all coming from sense that you're in control of your environment. And
let's actually listen to one of your tunes just right now. It's Taxman. We'll listen to it. We'll talk about it after it. But this is available on Spotify just now, guys. It's not on the new album. Is it going to be on the album?
Debatable. We're still going. It's that's all going to be down to you, really. He's going to be doing a remix of it. Like it's going to be one of the tracks which has passed the threshold, as it were. But
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact it's a standalone one from a couple of years back. But we'll see. It's very relevant today.
Well, today especially,
Yes.
where the big red briefcase was brought out today earlier. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Let us know in the comments what you make of this. This is Taxman by Bad Fractals.
Oh, I don't give a fuck what the tax man says. I got a big sack of debt right between my legs. I'm not banking lives, I'm just screwing lives. I'm just losing time as I try new crimes. Oh, tell it to the tax man, tell it to the judge, tell it to the politician, tell it to the police, tell it to them folks, tell them all about but we're coming for you. Tell it to the tax man, tell it to the judge, tell it to the politician, tell it to the police, tell it to them folks,
Call that radio.
We're back to the people who hated on me.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute.
That's mad, isn't it?
Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that radio!
Yeah.
And is there a way we can do something like that?
I couldn't help it.
By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so because I think just paint in general because I think like my poem is in my painting.
No, cut. I should call that radio TV where he would bang Crosby or Bad Fractals. What a tune, man.
Oh, cheers, man.
So lots of love coming in the comments as well. Claire Callahan says tune, loving the drumming in it. Ali Grant says nice. Mark is sitting here seat dancing. On you go. Off with her head, says Claire. Epic tune, says Dog Cows. The video to this could be awesome. And Mark McInnes saying that would be mental live.
It is.
Yes, I can imagine, man. With regards to the music videos, you do have music videos ready?
Yeah, pretty much. We've got well, we've had quite a lot of drama actually, but we've got potentially 4 or 5 music videos ready. One of them we made about 6 years ago. And but only finally got to the point where we can actually put it out. The other, we've got one of them is a cartoon that we're doing with Monster, who does a lot of Goldie stuff. He's really, really good. Monster. Shall I write his name down so people can?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really great. So we've got an animation coming with him, which I'm really excited about. Then we've got we've got a couple of really epic videos. They're really fun. So we're going to be releasing the first one as soon as this rocket fuel campaign ends. We've already started the process to release that as a first single. So pretty much everyone can expect music coming fairly regularly from here on in. As soon as we've got this done, basically.
Is there a release date in mind?
For Disco Devils, probably about 4 weeks from now. I'd say 4 to 5 weeks.
Excellent stuff. And,
so yeah, it'll be that, and then we'll just keep them rolling until we release the album. So across the summer, I wanted to get an arsenal of videos so we could just keep the build up to when we can actually release the album, and we can just start giving people content, because we've got all this stuff and people for years have been saying, where is it? And I can tell you that the answer why you haven't got it is because of money, really, straight up, from being poor artists. That's why.
William Humphrey says that closing scream. Have you played Scotland before?
No, I'd absolutely love to. We had talk of someone who wanted to put us on in Glasgow. I mean, we wanted to do Edinburgh as well. I'd absolutely love to. I love Glasgow. I love Scotland. I love Edinburgh.
We'll make it happen, man.
Glasgow
would love it. Glasgow would definitely love it. And there's just so many sort of smaller independent festivals that, fingers crossed, they still survive whatever's going on this year. But there's some amazing sort of smaller festivals here. I think Down the Rabbit Hole would definitely be a good fit for you.
Oh, I'd love that.
Christina, we love the Bad Fractals, says Christina. And just want to ask you about how Youth got involved, man, because what an absolute legend. And, you know, if you've waited 7 years to release your album, to get that guy involved is just incredible, man. So how did that come about?
Yeah, well, it took a little bit of time, actually, because it's funny because we knew him through Hedge, our drummer. He knew him through one thing, and I knew him through another thing. I actually knew him for a bunch of my Discordian mates. In Discordianism is a religion based on worship of Eris, the Greek goddess of chaos and confusion. And so there's all sorts of strange types have been circumnavigating around her for quite a while. And so I kind of got to know him for all these sort of like kind of occulty, kind of like esoteric, mad artists sort of circle. And I met him through that. And then Hedge had worked with him before in the past. And we just sent him a message. I mean, he's really sound. He just felt like meeting extended family straight away. He's lovely. We just sent him a message.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was just sort of similar with getting him on the show as well, because I've had him as a Facebook friend for years, and obviously just been a massive fan. And I've just sort of building myself up for ages, and then I seen that he had a kind of dance project thing that was kind of trancey release that he had last year. And I went, he's always got something to promote. Fuck it, I'm going to ask him. And it couldn't have been nicer, man. Just a great guy. Joe McCann is saying that there's a place to stay if they do a Scottish tour. So Joe and Susan put you up. You'll have a good night with you guys. Absolute legends, Joe and Susan. So yeah, and just going back to the Discordant stuff, man. What do you think of Robert Anton Wilson?
Love him.
Yeah, he's the best, isn't he?
Love him. Saint Bob, yeah, had a huge effect on me when I was about 20. I picked up one of his books on quantum psychology, and it completely blew my mind. And like another thing, he's easy to read, man. He speaks in layman's terms. It's like there's all this like complex knowledge out there, which is actually really easy if you're told it in the right way. And
yeah, I think so. He's a very good at sort of simplifying complex ideas, and I do admire the fact that he will come out with a theory and then he'll sort of shoot it down as well, or just sort of say, but I don't know, who knows, and I think that's
exactly.
It's quite refreshing to read stuff or listen like him. I tend to listen to more audiobooks than I do read, just because when I'm out and about I can listen to it. And it's it's good to think about that. I just feel that too many people, they tend to pick a side, or they pick a religion or a thing that they stand by, and then they get too stuck in their ways. Well, I think that Robert Anton Wilson's really good at exploring all the different concepts and ideas, and then also just admitting that, but could be wrong.
Yeah, it's just
who knows?
Maybe, like it's the same thing as like, is it heroic? Maybe.
Isha says, just through the occult. As you do. Tap for the phones, by the way. The act I'm going to perform is brutal, says Heather.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. But yeah, it was funny. The first guy, it was originally the first person we approached was Andy Gill. Rest in peace, Andy Gill from Gang of Four. And he was really busy though, and with finishing the Gang of Four stuff, and yeah, he passed away, which was real sad, because yeah, he's another great guy. But yeah, you've just he just instantly felt like.
So did you record it in Germany and then send it over to him in Spain?
No, we recorded it in Old Street, actually, in Old Street Studios, which when they're up and running, I'd highly recommend anyone who wants to record in London using. It was our friend Jerry's place. So that became like our home. That was where we were able to really become a band. And we recorded a lot of it there, and then we went to Youth. It's quite funny, actually, because people ask why it took so long to do this album. Well, we always used to joke that we were going to release our second album first to get it out of the way before our difficult debut. And as it stands, pretty much most of the original songs aren't actually going to make it onto the album, because by the time we got to Youth, we were like, yeah, we've got all these songs and then we're going to do these songs. And he was like, why don't you just give me your best work? And we were like, well, we've got a few songs that we played live a few times. And he was like, yeah, they're great. Use them. So there are going to be a lot of B-sides and stuff floating around, which is pretty cool, because it's more stuff.
It's good. There's all this stuff ready to go. I wouldn't expect anything less from you. Can't wait to see what you've got in store for them. Elusive. And Mark McKinnon is saying that's some nice looking house plants you have there.
Ah, yeah, they're basically. I'm at my friend's house around the corner, actually, so he's got to take credit for that. He's got a better internet connection than me.
Okay, Well, just to wrap it up, man, we're going to give the album one more sales pitch, and I'll put the link in the comments on why people should support this thing that you're building.
Yeah, basically, I've always wanted to blow apart rock and roll. I think the whole thing's got too stagnant. It's got too kind of stuck. And we're constantly plagued by all this stuff, all this commercial sort of rock and roll. It's been recuperated, and I think we need to take it back. And I think the one thing that rock and roll is missing today is danger. And we will give you danger. Rock and roll should not be a safe place, but it should be somewhere where you can find your own kind of safety. And yeah, we want to just decentralize the power and just put it back into your heads, and so you can listen to these ultra-violent love songs and let them pump through your heart and be alive again. Just want to bring some life back.
I'm sold. I'm off to rocketfuel.com. I'll put it's a big link, so I can't just sort of say it, but I've put it in the YouTube comments, so just click that link and go and support the thing. There's lots of different perks out there. I'm definitely going to support it, man. It's been a pleasure chatting to you tonight.
Thank you.
And we will be back. We're back tomorrow with the all day. Well, most of the day. It starts at 5:30. I don't know if that's an all day. It's I'll Save Sonny Govan. We're doing a fundraiser for one of the greatest radio stations on the planet. We've got amazing exclusive performances all day from 5:30. And then on Monday we've got Tuesday we've got Iona Fife, we've got Clinker, and we've got Jason Williamson from Sleaford Mods. Wow React for that one. And we'll see you for Jason Williamson on Wednesday as well. Thank you very much, mate. Good luck in the album. And hopefully we'll see you in the real world in a festival field, or maybe even Glasgow very soon.
Yes.
All the best, mate. Take it easy.
And to you. Cheers.
Brothers and sisters.
Is that you, Daniel? Are you before me?
Call that radio.
You call that radio.
Hello, yes, this is Dog.
that radio!
Do you want weirdo or do you want it?
If you don't really know what's going on, there's a show that also doesn't know what's going on. Call that radio TV. You call that radio. Call that radio TV. You call that radio TV.
Yeah, enough respect in the respect to the man like Mark. I love how the man talk on the radio. In case you never know. You call that radio, call that the radio. You call that radio, call that the radio. Come and say, in my name, I'll just go with the flow. In my name, I'll just go with the flow. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Boom. Lot of mercy. Yo. You call that radio. You call that radio. Come and Say don't you be another man, I'll go lose your head. Say don't you be another, me say and lose the head. Me say radio, radio, call that a radio, radio. Straight from out of Glasgow, Glasgow. Straight from out of Glasgow, Glasgow. Nice enough on the studio, studio. Come and say, any, meeny, my name, or just go with the flow. Any, meeny, my name, or just go with the flow. To tell you, Mr. Mark, now